So this video is about the number one habit that you need to have in your life if you want to successfully be able to build other habits, and also very much if you want to succeed at interactions with other people. My perspective on this habit is highly inspired by the absolutely amazing book The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, which you might have heard about since it is kind of a big deal, but this is also a habit that I have spent the last 10 years thinking a lot about, and which has brought me great success and a lot of confidence in my life. And when I read this book, I just really got affirmed in my own thoughts and really heard someone else speak about them for the first time in my life. And this book inspired me to both share some of his perspectives with the world, but also to give my own key insights about this. To help you visualize this concept, I will first draw a big circle which represents everything you might be concerned about. Inside this circle is a smaller circle which can also contain concerns and things to worry about, but this is your circle of influence. And this habit is all about focusing only on your circle of influence. Because if you can't change or influence things, then what could you ever get out of being concerned and worried about it except from time waste and negative emotions? And this is really a mindset to carry out through all things you do in your life. And a lot of people don't even realize that they're doing this, but actually you waste so much time and energy on worrying about things that you can't control at all. So the habit is really about regularly checking in with yourself, asking about whether you can influence this or not, and if you can't, simply just let it go. You don't get anything out of complaining or worrying about this, and doing this stuff is really one of the qualities in you that people will have the easiest time to dislike. So in this way, this habit can definitely help you to be liked by more people, also by just becoming a more happy-go-lucky kind of person, which I would describe myself as. And I make sure to implement this every day in my life, and I really hope that you can too. Another part of this habit is realizing that there is a space between the stimulus and the reaction you have. And this is the space where you decide on what action you're gonna take. And once again, being meta about your life and thinking about what you would like to do here based on your values and principles, rather than doing it based on emotions and the social pressure, like thinking too much about what people are going to think about you. And if there's one thing I've learned by struggling with my own self-worth and caring way too much about what people think of me, it is that if you do your very best to not care and just act like you would like to act, then people are gonna eventually end up liking you way more. The more you think about how other people perceive you and whether they like you or not, well, the worse actions you're actually gonna end up taking, and it just becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy that you don't want people to think bad of you, and therefore you act in a certain way that actually makes them think worse of you. This habit is at its core a mindset shift, and shifting your language can big time help you out with shifting your mindset as well. Instead of saying, I can't, there's nothing to do about it, and especially think about something happening to you, try saying, I can, I will try to, and try to look at things in a new light. If there's anything bothering you in life, look at it with the circle of influence in mind. Is there anything about this situation that is actually within your circle of influence? Well then, go do that thing. If it's not, let the thing go. No need to complain or worry about it, it will only make things worse, and I think you know that as well. A very inspiring story about this mindset shift is told in the book The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People as well, and it's about a Holocaust survivor called Viktor Frankl, who managed to survive being in a concentration camp that very few people survived being in. And the reason why there's stories about him was because he was a very remarkably positive person, being in one of the worst predicaments you could ever be in throughout the entire history. And remember, this thing happened to him because of nothing he could control at all. He was in that concentration camp only because he had a certain race. This was most definitely something that happened to him, not something that he did to himself. But that also means that it is outside of his circle of influence, and there was no way of escaping this concentration camp. So what could he actually do? He could work with his own mindset and be happy about the small things he liked doing in his daily life within this concentration camp. And this creates a ripple effect where a lot of people was inspired and affected by Viktor Frankl's positive mindset. And I really think that everybody in this world and the world as an entirety would be a much better place if we all try to act like Viktor Frankl, even though it can be tough. But really focusing on your circle of influence can impact your life and the lives of the people around you so much. For instance, a lot of people worry and complain about being overweight, and I totally get that. It's a very difficult thing to change, but I really believe that with being overweight and with a lot of other bad things in your life, if you shift your mindset from thinking about the bad stuff within it and instead focus on the things you can do about it, it can help you out tremendously to actually take those actions. And I get that compared to a lot of the other productivity habits and so on, this one is a bit more fluffy and is about a mindset, but you can do it in a very tangible way by practicing, just like you would practice doing a physical thing. You should practice in your mind to stop up and think about whether things are in your circle of influence or not, or how you could change them so that they could get inside that circle of influence. The more you analyze situations in this way, the better you become at reacting to things, both in your personal life and when interacting with other people. So I really do hope that this video could inspire you to go out and try to do that. And otherwise, just thank you so much for watching.